Okay, so now you know who is influencing your person, and you know where to get the content from, the content ideas in a sense, right? You also know who that person that you're talking to is, where that person is, and why you're communicating in the first place, because you already have a back end plan, right? So now, what exactly is that's going to look like, right? We're going to go to like this last bit. This is the part that you're actually doing. Okay, we have the whole theory right now, and you know exactly why you need to do it. Now let's just get to the bottom of it. So now I was telling you that you're going to need these first two steps, right? You need the HLP profile and you need the avatar card. They're important because this is going to happen if you have these other two things, right? So if you don't have that, you need to go back and do it first, because then this was going to be easy, right? Whereas if you don't have your avatar and your HLP, you'll be struggling over here, because you're just going to be like this person just going from one place to the other, and all these shiny objects and all the overwhelmed stuff, right? All this will go away if you have the HLP and avatar card. Yeah. So now, what to do when you start creating content, how to stay consistent, right? So basically, our mentor, Brendon Burchard, says, no matter how small you start something that matters to you, right? And that is why you need the HLP profile, because this HLP profile tells you exactly what matters to you today, not 5 years from now or 10 years from now, or not what you think should matter or what other people are projecting on you and tells you that matters. This HLP profile tells you what matters to you, really, right? And if you know that, you have gold, because you will always do what is high in your priorities without motivation, without external benefits, right? We're just talking with Nadia. I was doing this for a whole year without having anything in return, right? And I was spending on it days and nights and all the time, and nothing was coming back beside the fact that I really liked it, right? And then I connected with people, and then it was fun, but I was like monetized, like what do you call it? It didn't materialize for me in the sense of the revenue, right? Which was very important to me, because I already resigned from my job in a school, so I sort of didn't have a source of income, right? So for me, it was very, very important that something is going to start happening, because otherwise I can't do it anymore. So it wasn't even the case that I didn't want to do it. It was just the case that I would not be able to do it because I have to earn money, right? So if I'm not earning money from this, I'm going to have to go back to this work that makes me miserable, right? In a school, for instance, or anywhere else. So this is important, guys, okay? Start something that matters. And you can start with a single piece of content, like single topic that you will literally steal from one of these influencers that we were talking about, right? Now, the other bit is find out what works and do more of that, and what doesn't work and stop that, right? Dean is talking about this very, very often, but Brandon was also like very clear on this. If you start some content, even the big influencers, not all the topics stick, right? So if you go to these big channels, you're going to have this in the tutorial that I'm going to give you for free. That when you're going to, for instance, YouTube channels, the big channels, and you will filter the content over there, you will see which videos or which topics had more views, more reactions, more engagements, and then copy those and not the ones that have little bit, right? Because even they make topics and stuff that are not really what people want to hear, right? Which is fine. You just stop doing that and move on. Okay, so now we're going to the content map, right? This is the bit from Rachel. Some of you who are in Project Next or in KVB might actually heard from Rachel. Some of you were through One Funnel Away challenge with me, or maybe just with Russell. And Rachel was talking about this there, okay? that all the content on social media is just the journey of a person, of your ideal client, right? A journey from pain to pleasure. Okay, and this journey is represented by your posts, right, on social media, where you're sharing different steps from this journey, from the very beginning of the journey until the, you know, it's endless, literally, because even if you're like already successful in doing all these amazing things, let's say, let's take one of our mentors, maybe Dean Graziosi, he shares these steps, these journeys, like what the life is for him right now, right? But he's not just telling people, oh, my life right now is all amazing, I've done it all. He's still sharing what he's struggling in today, right? Like just recently I was listening to his video when he says that imposter syndrome is still there, right? The things like the research that he needs to do is still there, right? So it's not like disappearing. And it also shows us like, okay, wherever we are on this journey, it's going to stay there. So we have to be ready for it, right? And then he gives some solutions and some tips what he does in order so that what works for him. So obviously it's going to work for everybody else who's behind him as well, right? So you're sharing these steps and you're sharing the results of these different things, these different actions that you've been taking on the road, you or your mentors or whoever else is behind you, because you can also share stories and bits and pieces of your students. Just like I share, for instance, a lot of stuff that Nadia does, right? Because she's the step behind me. Okay, so she did this, and now I can see, oh, it worked even better for her than it worked for me. How did she do that? Right? And then we discuss that piece, right? So I can sort of like celebrate my client, right, or the person that I'm leading, but at the same time I'm learning from this myself, and it's a great content for everybody who is behind Nadia, right? So with that being said, guys, I wanted to show you this sort of like 2-dimension of traffic. Okay, 2-dimension of traffic. We can grow our audience in numbers, and we can grow our audience in depth. Okay, you can write it down. We can grow our audience in numbers or in depth, right? So the fact, for instance, that Nadia has 15,000 followers right now on Instagram means nothing if she's not growing the connection with this audience in depth. Why? Because this first level of the connection, this first circle in this funnel, this is like a marketing funnel, right? This is a communication that happens on social media. The fact that I, for instance, attracted a lot of people to my content, and they like my content, and they copy, and they say it's amazing, and they comment, and they do all these amazing things. They're even, so they're engaging, right? And they're doing what I'm telling them to do. So it's like answering my question. We have a back and forth conversation. Amazing, right? But if that's it, that means nothing happens, because that's just a number, right? That is following her. It doesn't give her anything. It doesn't give her anything, and it doesn't give them any big transformation. Besides the fact that they might be entertained, right? Or maybe they have like a motivational thought in their head, right? But the transformation will happen if you're gonna start building these relationships in depth. Okay, so now when you're thinking about it and you're creating these stories in this content, you have to create it in both directions. Okay, so on the social media, on the surface, we're just sharing these stories, we're just like planting the seeds, and then we're seeing who is actually resonating with that. And the moment we have those people who did resonate, then we have to start another direction of communication, more in depth, right? So now we're gonna use the same strategy. The thing is that here you're talking to everybody on Facebook, and on the second level, you're only gonna be talking to the people who are interested in whatever bit of content you posted, right? Not about all these bits, just about one, because that one they resonated. So let's say I talked about building an avatar card, right? Why, how to identify your ideal client easily, right? And make sure that it's really the person who you want to talk to, right? And let's say a lot of people resonated with them, or maybe not a lot, but some people resonated and they wanted to talk about it, right? So here you go. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about, 10 people wants to talk with me about this. Perfect. I'm gonna create for them as a better content, right? I'm gonna zoom in on that content that they want to hear, and I will communicate over here. Now they're gonna be warm leads, right? So this is the language of marketers. Warm leads. So they are over here. I'm not communicating with them on the surface of social media. This is more of a something like we're doing right now. Yeah. You're coming in because you're interested in this particular topic. We're streaming this to social media, but in order to get this from me, you actually have to come and see me in a room, right? So now we're here, okay? I got your interest and I've delivered more value over here. And the transformation can already start, okay? This is sort of like a beginning of the transformation. And then within the room that is here, I can again allocate the people who are actually ready to do this next thing, right? To get even more help or even more specific information that is blocking them at this very moment, right? And they will join the program, right? They will join the program where I can actually teach or coach or do whatever. And that program will be either in any of the platforms. It can be your website. It can be, well, if you're selling something like tangible products, it can be your shop or whatever. But we're here mostly in knowledge business, right? So that will be your program, right? And over here, you landed this person that was interested, or 2 or 3 that was interested in this one bit of content over here. Went through the whole funnel and landed up over here. And then the other bit is about multiplying these people, but that's a different topic, not for today. So you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna repeat that again. But this time, maybe you're gonna focus on this other bit of content that another 5 people resonated with, and then maybe you're going to talk to this bit of content that maybe 4 people resonated with, and then you create this thing for them until you will do it like a couple times. You will find that there will be these topics that you really want to do again, right? Because these people just resonating with you and you like them and you want to do it again, right? So just do it better next time. You repeat this process, right? Let's say that I allocated that this bit of content bring me 10 people to my flagship framework, and I really like talking with them. They're amazing, right? I really like talking with this crowd. So whatever this crowd wants to hear, I'm going to start creating that content because I want to talk to these people, right? So I will then do it again, right? I will do it again. And just like Rachel Mirror says, that once you're going to create, like craft this content map over here one time, you just repeat it in a cycle, right? You're just going to start talking about the same things again, right? You don't need to create like new ideas every single time. Just talk about the same thing, just a little bit from a different point of view, or with a different hook, right? With a different angle, right? That's why they say we need lots of hooks for the same content. Lots of hooks for the same content, okay? So we're going further down the road, guys. This is pretty much, by the way, I'm gonna give you the map from Rachel, which will give you exactly the topics, okay? So maybe I'll show you later if we're gonna have a little bit of time. But in this map, you're gonna have 5 areas where your topic is created, right? And you're gonna list down these ideas from these influencers that you know you need to follow, right? And put them in these 5 categories, and that's just gonna be your map for like 3 months or something, right? So it's really cool. And now the last bit over here that I wanted to share with you is